going on, you lovely people? It's your boy Roliver Queen. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing good. Now, I know the last time I talked about Night Terrors, I was not pleased because I was losing some of my favorite titles for 2 to 3 months due to this event, but it's all over now, and it was all uploaded on DC Universe Infinite. So I popped the edible, and I read it all in one go, just the main series. So, what are my thoughts? I was entertained, very entertained. It was short, basic, straightforward. One of my main reasons for not liking Dark Crisis was Williamson was trying to tackle high concept, and he is not that guy. I'm sorry. This is more his bag. Stories that don't make my head itch. So we're already starting off on the right foot. I like that this was a stealth Boston Brand and Sandman story. Now, I don't know much about these two. This was my introduction to them, but I thought they carried the story pretty well. There were other heroes that popped up, but it was more towards the end. So it was mainly them two. And this got me interested enough to want to go and read up on their history. So when I'm on vacation, I'll go on DC Universe Infinite and I'll see what the essential reading for Sandman and Boston Brand are. Also, I will say this, the motivation behind the event and the villain, I could stand behind that. This dude has had beef with the Justice League since Dark Knight's Metal. Yeah, I know that's a throwback, right? Apparently, during the Dark Knight's invasion, he lost his family during the battle because I guess his house collapsed on them. He was the only survivor. He could not go to sleep because every time he closed his eyes, he would see the horror that was the death of his family. And this leads into Dark Crisis because he sees the news where the Justice League comes back, and he's mad because he's like, well, how come my family can't come back from the dead, but these motherfuckers can come back from the dead? And you know what? I'm not mad at that. Keep it a fat stack. I'm big on accountability here. It's not all the time after a big battle, Justice League sticks around and does casualty assessments. Like they just go back and fuck around in the Hall of Justice. And I do like that Williamson's continuing the story from Infinite Frontier because he wanted us to see what life was like for the average human in the DC universe because they are constantly being affected by reboots, events, crises. So the fact that we're continuing that in 2023 in this event is cool. And the fact that we're referencing other events in a natural way is cool. And even Lazarus Planet plays a role in this as well. The art also did a good job of getting me convinced that insomnia was a big threat. There were certain panels here where I was surprised that editorial let it fly. I almost thought this was a Black Label book at some points. But then again, it's Williamson. He's the architect, so obviously they're going to give him some more leeway. But I really think that was a smart move to get the artist that they had on this book. I'll say that for the first 3 issues. The last issue, I don't know, man. There was a lot of fuckery going on with the art. It was clear that it was a rush job. By the end of it all, the Justice League are considered monsters in the eyes of the public, and I like that. And it further ties into the whole Amanda Waller versus Heroes motive because she does pop up at the end. Now that the public no longer rocks the Justice League, they see them as threats. Her sights are now on the Titans to see if she can do something similar to them. Again, the whole goal is to eradicate Heroes. And I will say this, I know I'm not the biggest fan of Tom Taylor as of late, but I will be checking out Beast World to see how all of this gels together. I want to see how the stuff with Superman and Brainiac, how this all gels together. So I'm really interested in what the landscape of the DC universe is going to look like in 2024. Let's get down to the serious shit. Was Night Terrors worth halting the line for? No. I enjoyed the story. I thought it was cool, but it was not worth halting the line for. I would make a compromise and say that if it was going to halt the line, it should have been for 1 month. The events of Night Terrors, it takes place in one night. I think you can equate that. 2 to 3 months, unacceptable. Things could have been way properly managed at the end of 2023, at the end of 2022 going into 2023. But I do think this is essential reading for Dawn of DC. I do think this helps push the Dawn of DC story. And I do think that people who were not interested in this, they should go read this now that it's all collected. But I am not mad at anybody who initially said, I'm not checking out this event because, again, it's taking away my stories. When you let the anger die down, I highly recommend checking this out. This is not a bad story, and I think it's one of Williamson's better stories in quite a while. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. What were your opinions on Night Terrors. Did you like it? Did you not like it? How do you think this further sets up the return of the Justice League? How do you think Beast World is going to tie in? And what are your thoughts on what the landscape of the DC Universe will look like in 2024? Thank you guys for checking out the content. I appreciate you as always. Much love, much peace. It's your boy, Roliver Queen. Can't wait to hear from you. And I'm out.